Sure, everyone gets worried as and when any of the major economies or their regulators or governments make noises about coming down heavy on crypto for reasons that from time to time might be justified, other times not justified. And at this moment in time, the US would think it's coming harsh and it's coming hard on crypto, it's dropping the hammer on crypto. Do you agree? That's what we see and that's what we think we hear. So today in this video, we're going to present the reasons why the US wants to stunt crypto growth. Hi guys, this is FD for Sage5.tv once more, back with another video, and today, like I've already said, we are going to present some reasons why we think the United States want to stunt crypto growth. They want to hamper, they want to prevent the growth and mass adoption of cryptocurrency. For what reason? Let's jump in and cover some of them. Again, some of them could be speculation, but some of these reasons are based on facts and history. Let's jump in. One of the reasons we have drawn is preservation of the US dollar as a world reserve currency. The US dollar is the currency of the United States, we all know that, but it's also a currency in so many countries, or it's used in so many countries. But at one point, the US dollar was backed by gold, but now it is based on public trust. The trust is what's backing it. If that trust is gone, what's left? So what happens when that trust evaporates? When the public no longer trusts the financial instruments meant to give credence to all economic activity and value creation. Inflation has been rampant across the globe during 2022 and so far in 2023. The last financial crisis of 2008 saw the creation of an alternative financial system with the inception of Bitcoin. Since then, the crypto ecosystem has grown into thousands of digital assets, some with more utility than others. Unfortunately, a new breed of criminals has also been created with the likes of Dogecoin, SBF, and many others. A range of stablecoins have also sprung up with varying degrees of success. It is the wider threat of these stablecoins that the US government and its regulators have begun to feel the heat. Stablecoins compete pound for pound with the US dollar, and it appears the powers that be from across the pond do not like that. We will never know how far they will go or have gone already to stop the serious adoption of cryptocurrency within the United States. But signs are that there are some sinister players behind the scenes throwing everything, including kitchen sink, to try and stop crypto from powering forward. Will they succeed? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. The next reason is that of stability and control of global financial and commodity markets. Take the stability part with a pinch of salt, of course. In this case, stability should mean protecting the status quo. Prior to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies entering the scene, financial instability has always been a feature of financial markets. Let's have a look at 5 of the world's most devastating financial crises of modern time. Let's start with the credit crisis of 1772, place of origin, London, England. In the mid-1760s, the British Empire had accumulated an enormous amount of wealth through its colonial possessions and trade. This created an aura of over-optimism and a period of rapid credit expansion by many British banks. The hype came to an abrupt end on June 8, 1772, when Alexander Fordyce, one of the partners of the British banking house, Neil, James and Fordyce, and Down, fled to France to escape his debt repayments. The news quickly spread and triggered a banking panic in England as creditors began to form long lines in front of British banks to demand instant cash withdrawals. The ensuing crisis rapidly spread to Scotland, the Netherlands, other parts of Europe, and the British American colonies. Historians have claimed that the economic repercussions of this crisis were one of the major contributing factors, the Boston Tea Party protests and the American Revolution. So that was England's part in one of the great crises modern time. Now, the second crisis was the Great Depression of 1929 to 1939. Place of origin, Wall Street, USA, that is in New York. Viewed as the worst financial and economic disaster of the 20th century, it is viewed by many to have triggered the Great Depression, later exacerbated by poor policy decisions of, guess what? Guess who? The US government. The depression lasted almost 10 years and resulted in massive loss of income, record unemployment rates, and output loss, especially in industrialized nations. In the United States itself, the unemployment rate hit almost 25% at the peak of the crisis in 1933. So, for those countries that just follow the US blindly, here's a message to you all. The United States has got form. We have been here before. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime to join a new financial system ushered in by cryptocurrencies. Ignore this new financial system that is in the works at your own risk and your own people's peril. So these are just facts. If you did not partake in the creation of the previous financial system or the current financial system, why are you passing out on actually being a formation member of a new financial system by adopting and passing regulations and laws that enhance and facilitate the development of this technology in order to move forward? If you pass regulations that hamper, this is what you're dealing with. What has happened in the past will happen again, and those who were culprits, they'll do it again because they've got form, they've got history. Anyway, the next crisis was the OPEC oil price shock of 1973. So this crisis began when OPEC, which stands for Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, this crisis began when OPEC member countries, primarily consisting of Arab nations, decided to retaliate against the United States in response to its sending arms supplies to Israel during the Fourth Arab-Israeli War. OPEC countries declared an oil embargo, abruptly halting oil exports to the United States and its allies. This caused major oil shortages and a severe spike in oil prices and led to an economic crisis in the US and many other developed countries. Now, something strikes a chord with what's happening currently with sanctions against different countries affecting global oil and gas supplies. Does it ring a bell? There you have it. There you go. The US has got form. What was unique about the ensuing crisis was the simultaneous occurrence of very high inflation triggered by the spike in energy prices and economic stagnation due to the economic crisis. As a result, economists named the era a period of stagflation, which is a combination of stagnation and inflation. And it took several years for output to recover and inflation to fall to its pre-crisis level. There you have it. Does it ring a bell? Does it strike a chord with what's happening today? I don't know. You make your own deduction. The next crisis was the Asian crisis of 1997. Place of origin, Thailand, of all places. This crisis originated in Thailand in 1997 and quickly spread to the rest of East Asia and its trading partners. Speculative capital flows from developed countries to the East Asian economy of Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, and South Korea, known then as the Asian Tigers. It triggered an era of optimism that resulted in an overextension of credit and too much debt accumulation in those economies. In July 1997, the Thai government had to abandon its fixed exchange rate against the US dollar that it had maintained for so long, citing a lack of foreign currency resources. That started a wave of panic across Asian financial markets and quickly led to the widespread reversal of billions of dollars of foreign investment. As the panic unfurled in the markets and investors grew wary of possible bankruptcies of East Asian governments, fears of a worldwide financial meltdown began to spread. It took years for things to return to normal. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, had to step in to create bailout packages for the most affected economies to help those countries avoid default. So again, IMF stepping in as the knight in shining armor. But where are we now? What happened to those economies that they stepped into? Make your own deductions. Why does the IMF always get involved and for whose benefit? Last but not least, the financial crisis of 2007 to 2008, the one that led to the creation and launch of, guess what? Bitcoin, and which in turn opened the doors for a modern financial system of the future that is equitable. The 2007 to 2008 financial crisis sparked the Great Recession, the most severe financial crisis since the Great Depression, and it wreaked havoc in financial markets around the world. Triggered by the collapse of the housing bubble in the US, the crisis resulted in the collapse of Lehman Brothers, one of the biggest investment banks in the world, brought many key financial institutions and businesses to the brink of collapse, and required government bailouts of unprecedented proportions. It took almost a decade for things to return to normal, wiping away millions of jobs and billions of dollars of income along the way. Now, those were the main crises. Other reasons why the US is coming heavy on crypto include the need to control global commodities such as oil and minerals through their currency, blackmailing. Here, financial sanctions are placed against various countries and organizations throughout the world at various periods in history to date, and are earmarked to coerce a non-conforming entity or partner country, change course and do what another country wishes, in this case of the US. And these sanctions usually come in the form of trade and financial sanctions. There are plenty of examples where this has worked with various degrees of success. You also have downright corruption in plain sight. The links between the US ruling elite to the likes of Sam Bankman-Fried or SBF painfully exposes that power is being abused by those in power. You also have the need to protect the elite. Financial products from TradeFi or traditional finance that are designed for the so-called professional investors only means that those who do not already own a lot and are already rich are disadvantaged when it comes to economic benefits. The game is rigged before play even starts, and winners are designed in. If you're poor, stay poor. Gary Gensler's approach. Gary Gensler is the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission. His approach to regulations and their enforcement speaks volumes of what the so-called elite are working towards. It is up to the public to decide what they do in view of these concerns being brought to light. Then we also have the exporting of domestic inflation by the US. How strange is it that a country that claims to be the largest economy in the world world, they always live outside their means. Have you ever heard of the debt ceiling? This is where the US ruling elite are supposedly making decisions on how much they should increase their own credit limit, while the rest of the world watches and soon to be saddled with wayward inflation as a result. This follows on from the fact that the US dollar is still viewed by so many as a reserve currency, which means the ruling elite in the US have no appetite to curb their spending and live within their means for as long as the rest of the world is willing to support their currency. All that said, do you still believe cryptocurrency is not for you and it's not the future? Comment below and let us know your thoughts if you still believe the US dollar should remain as a reserve currency. Until next time, guys, this was FD for Search5.tv sharing the reasons why the US wants to stunt the growth of cryptocurrencies. Until next time, bye for now.